What is it, Derek? You all right?
Mary loves Dick. Mary loves Dick.
Hey guys, welcome back to Rewind Horror. I'm Wes, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We're going to be watching an episode of Most Haunted. Now, Most Haunted started back in 2002. We're going to be watching an episode from the 4th season, which apparently gets a little bit weird. Hopefully we'll get a little bit spooked. Obviously, I'm not going to be going out there and hunting for some ghosts, so we're going to watch the professionals do it. And that's professionals. I used to watch them a fair bit when I was younger, mainly the live specials. I used to love sitting there in the dark and watching, and I used to love watching the live cams, basically just staring at static footage for a few hours and hoping to see something. Let me know down below if you used to do the same thing. Apparently Most Haunted was a bit of a international phenomenon, as you'll see in some of the clips I'll put on. So hopefully many of you will have come across this before.
As the team climbed the stairs to Chillingham Castle bedroom, Derek Akor insisted he could hear the sound of a young boy crying. The closer he got, the more agitated he became.
How are our sound levels?
Nothing out of the ordinary yet.
I heard the cries of a small boy. He was crying out. I'm being drawn to the energy around the arm wire. Everyone else, stay there.
Stuart, you have your camera ready?
Ready.
So here we stand in total darkness in the room of a small boy who's suffocated in this very armoire. Do you have a name? Are you here with us? Why do you cry out?
Speak to us, let your presence be known.
If you can hear us, give us a sign. What was that?
Did anyone else hear that?
Yeah, I did.
No, I just shifted my feet. It was probably my tennis slippers scooting against the floor.
No, I'm sure that wasn't it.
Most Haunted is an international phenomenon, but of course they are British. But I'm sure you'll have heard of them, and they are quite well known. So let's jump into it.
That's what you want!
A house filled with ghosts, poltergeist activity, and a cry for help from the residents of the Manor House.
Absolutely vibing with the intro.
To Most Haunted. Built in the late 1500s, the building behind me was once a manor house, then an orphanage, and now it's a hotel, but it holds a secret. Imprisoned souls are said to walk here, along with spectral images of children, dark figures, and also strange odours have all been experienced at the Manor House.
She was a ghost all along.
The house on Ferryhill, now called the Manor House, began its history as a yeoman's farmer's dwelling in the late 16th century. The house passed through many different hands over the years until 1913. The vicar of St Luke's Parish Church had the house converted into an orphanage. It was soon realised that it was too small for this purpose, and it was reverted to a private residence owned by a local doctor. There followed several further owners until 1989, where it became a small hotel. This building looks friendly enough from the outside, but behind its doors lies ghostly activity so terrifying that we have been called in to help.
It's always an orphanage, a hospital, or something like that.
Something different about this place. Very different. The history of the building leads it to be
I remember
especially
this guy.
the business of children and an orphanage.
And there are children reported here.
This shit must have been done by the same guy who did
The ghost of a tall woman
the
has been
plans
seen
for
walking up these
Resident
stairs,
Evil.
searching for her baby.
Remember in Resident
that is
Evil
said to be
1 when
buried
it
here.
did the plans?
The
That was
lady that
done
owns the
by
place says she's
Weeble,
actually seen
Weeble and Bob.
what she believed
Shout
at
out
first to
Weeble.
be one of her cleaners on the staircase, spoke to her. She never spoke back and disappeared. And then she realised, of course, that she'd actually seen the ghost. This was an orphanage for a period of time, and there are reports of skeletons of children actually being found buried in the garden. They believe that this ghost of this lady may still be searching for her baby.
You never hear about baby ghosts, like crying, or like toddler ghosts. It's always adult ghosts. What's that about?
In room 7, the image of a large man has been seen staring angrily at guests before slowly disappearing, and lamps have been seen flying across the room.
I'll be honest, I always
Bruno and
thought
I
your
were
vet was
sleeping one
kind of
night,
hot.
and we had a lamp shade, and all the fittings fly over the room.
Her husband got out of bed, checked the lamp. The lamp was still standing there. It was just the top that had gone. No explanation whatsoever.
This is room 8. Dark shadows have been seen in here floating from side to side. But more disturbingly, a young boy who was sound asleep was awoken by something grabbing his throat. The invisible entity then threw the child from the bed onto the floor. The mother, when she was checking, found that he had fresh finger marks on his throat.
My throat is itching.
He came downstairs crying, really sobbing, broken-hearted. And his Auntie Pat was with me, and he said that somebody had picked him up and thrown him off the bed.
He also has problems in room number 6, and he says that there are children in there with him, unseen children. He refers to them as them. They want to play with him. And he says they actually count from 1 to 10, and they want him to chase them. Now, there's been lots and lots of this sort of thing going on in various places, but I'm a bit concerned. I think it's poltergeist activity.
A sinister figure has been seen lurking in the corner of this room, room 6. Also, the sounds of a boy crying have been heard in the middle of the night. But who are they? We have 24 hours to find out.
It's time for Derek Akora.
The Manor House is a small place, so Phil's baseline test didn't take very long. Drafty windows were checked, temperature and EMF readings were taken, and trigger objects were placed in active rooms. One thing that had intrigued Phil and the rest of the crew was the story of the 7-year-old boy who was thrown off the bed, and reports to his family how ghostly children play chase with him. During a conversation with Phil, the boy drew these pictures of the children that play with him. Many children have imaginary friends, but how many of them are imaginary? This child certainly seems to feel that he is definitely seeing and hearing these spirits. According to his family, he is terrified, so hopefully we will find out who these spirits are and rid the house of these so-called entities by the end of our investigation.
Now, Phil, I know we're going to use the night vision camera later on for the vigils, but because there are so many rooms here that are haunted, are we going to be locking some of these cameras off and just leaving them?
Yeah, one of the bedrooms I want to do this in is where a young child had an experience there. He was actually thrown out of bed. So we're going to lock cameras off there. And also, I have, don't laugh, a trigger object. It's a child's trigger object. Mainly because the child involved says he sees and witnesses spirit children.
And of course, because this used to be an orphanage,
exactly.
As you say, lots and lots of people are saying they're seeing the spirits of children, ghosts of children, so this is actually a good idea.
It's good, it's an association with children, and I'm hoping that the spirit children that haunt this place see it as some kind of comfort.
Have you ever seen a spirit baby? Comment down below.
Okay. With all of us together, we made our way over to begin our investigation at the Manor House.
God, don't just drop drum and bass on us like that. Jeez.
No doubt, maybe it didn't look like this as it is, with this like banister rail and what have you. I feel as if people lost their lives. When a person is hung.
So is one person hung here?
No, many.
Many?
A number of people, I feel, yeah. And, you know, for
no records.
Crazy things, if you like. But it seems as if this person was meting out the justice, but wasn't of justice.
Right.
It's like a one-man band.
So
it's like
his own back then.
Yeah, yeah. And I feel the sordid, evil mind of this soul is still present in this building. Feelings of if someone was sleeping here, if they were, they would most definitely be disturbed by this activity.
Be woken up by it.
Absolutely.
What sort of things would he be doing?
Anyone who was physically sleeping here would be woken up, no doubt, I mean, we've got lights and stuff, elevated things being, you know,
right.
up and tossed.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like poltergeist activity.
Yes.
Even maybe, I'm not saying the bed turned over, but the likes of a knocking.
Yeah.
And really, really trying to put fear into the person that was resident
That's
here.
happened.
That has happened, yeah.
In this room, experiences such like of total fright. I feel in this energy has taken place. And that fright, the gutless negative soul has to pick on a vulnerable, sensitive child. Excuse me. That's him doing it, okay. If he wished to, this negative soul could take this, even this, or any of this furniture here, and just hit it up in the ceiling.
Really?
And on it, stand it up, and bring it down, because I feel he's done that. This is the central vortex of this negative soul.
You're upset, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're just picking up on the little boy's fright.
His fear and what have you. This boy, it's a wonder he didn't lose his voice because of what that horrible, bestial, negative, evil man did to him. He picked his mark on this child.
Why would they come down here into the cellar?
Well, because their last thoughts are still with them. So, of course, they're retracing their steps prior to it. And I feel that there would have been a period of time that they were not sure whether they, even though they're in the spirit body, if they're still being, you know, sought after by this horrible soul that put them to their death.
Right, I see.
And there's this collective energy of talk where they're trying to collectively try to bring his downfall. In other words, the hatred of the man.
Oh my God!
What?
Oh,
Something just touched the back of my head.
Really?
Did you feel that?
I felt something.
They are. Look. There's bits.
Yeah, but I was sitting here. I was sitting.
Oh my God! Well, I've got some fucking Jaffa cakes in my pocket.
That felt a bit odd.
You really scared me then, mate.
Can we leave now?
No waste of the physical. These people were found.
So you're saying skeletons were found here?
I feel around here, yes.
What was that?
Did you feel something then?
I can hear noises. It sounds like it came from
There was like a ticking sound, wasn't there?
Scratching or something.
Yeah.
Could be animals, could be...
We are being listened to right now. I feel it's this degenerate character, this bad soul, that is actually now, maybe he's come into the atmosphere close and he's listening.
Something went down the back of my head. Sake, I'm not joking you. Please, let's get out.
Okay.
I think
There was
it's
something
the
that went
crew just
like
fuck
that
with
down
them.
my ear hole. It's
I
not
think
fine.
the crew just mess with them.
Quite a lot of activity going on. There's, I've seen two absolute belting orbs going across the bed.
So if you can get yourselves over there, I would think it's probably worth it. Room number 6. Over.
You've got the crew in the background just going like...
Okay. I mean, it's bound to do these things.
Like that.
Also, they're in a basement. It might just be spiders crawling on their neck and a gust of wind.
Right, you got Derek here, you got me here, you got everyone else here. Sweetheart. Nothing?
You didn't make a noise, did you, Phil? You
Don't
didn't
think
make
so,
a noise.
as far as I know.
You didn't go like that.
Not like that, no.
Oh, I don't want to go on my own.
It can't harm you, okay? It can't harm you.
Oh my God, she's actually crying.
Wasn't expecting anything to happen down there.
No.
It was interesting that as
I
I
think
heard
she
the whisper,
believes, but
Richard
her
Felix
husband
witnessed
and
2 light
some of the
anomalies
crew,
in bedroom
they
6.
agreed on it.
With no one in this room at the time, the light couldn't be easily explained.
Oh my gosh.
Although I was still petrified,
Dust
we headed to
particles.
bedroom 6 to investigate further. And there was
Oh,
more waiting for
insects.
us upstairs.
You're right.
Shocking. If the show's not interesting, the producers are gonna make it interesting, put it that way. Or ghosts. I don't know what I believe. I don't know. I don't necessarily believe in ghosts, but I'm scared by them.
Yeah.
You need to get back.
Oh, hold on.
What's that?
You got something.
Wait, no, that must just be the spirit level on the table. It must be just this, setting it off. This is a spirit. It's setting it off. The ghosts do not exist.
Develop and manifest.
Is there energies there at the moment, Derek?
I feel that this man, this one here, the one who actually comes here, is the one who was responsible for all these bad deeds. Okay? His presence of energy shifts about this building right across, up and down.
Well, I do know that dark shapes have been seen, haven't
Okay,
they?
this is him then.
Yeah.
There's no two ways about it. And he, more than anyone else at this property, is wanting to really throw us into a state of disarray. Do you hear that?
I heard that.
Do you hear it?
Let me have a look.
He's here. He's here.
I'll have a look.
He is here. He's here. Careful, okay?
What was that noise?
Yeah, what was that noise?
Disarray. Do you hear that?
I heard that.
Do you hear it?
Let me have a look.
He's here. He's here.
I'll have a look.
He is here. Come and take us on, you sick spirit. Come on, show us what you can do. He's back. He's playing with us. There's no two ways about it. He's playing with us.
Should we go back in the main
Yes,
room, do you
please.
think? Yeah.
Whoa, Phil.
What's up?
Did you throw your thing on the floor?
Hey?
Did you throw your thing on the floor?
No.
Where was it? That's just landed on the floor.
I heard
I heard that drop.
We've just heard a clout.
Okay.
Where was it? God, I got pins and needles. I have no idea. I've just heard a clout and just flipped
I heard that.
Okay, back in.
No way was it there. I put it on here. It was there. Like that, because I went out there.
God, that's really sort of giving me goosebumps, that.
It seems to me that when you're kind of just chatting amongst yourselves, that's when things happen.
It's very easy for one of the team members to just knock it off.
Yeah.
Not expecting it.
Please prove to us that you are here. I'm asking you now, please try and do something, move something, make a noise, make something bang, anything at all. Do it now, please. Do something. Show us that you're here. Well, you're obviously not then. You're obviously not the man that we thought you were. You obviously can't show yourself or do anything.
Even if you don't believe, being in this
That's a
situation,
shame, then.
you end
Obviously
up
a complete
getting
coward.
worked up and you hear things and you feel things.
Dude! Confrontation! Confrontation! Yes! That's what you want!
That's what you want.
Hey!
That's what you want.
Derek.
Confrontation.
Derek, come forward.
I'll slit you! Get it!
Derek, come forward.
I'll straight
Let's get in. Derek, calm down.
Derek believed he'd been possessed by the spirit who supposedly slaughtered children and subsequently had been hanged. This experience left him completely drained, and it took the crew a while to calm him down.
That's what you want! Oh, he's a bad one. He's a bad one.
He's a bad one.
He's evil.
When Derek felt more relaxed, we got ready to start the vigils. Ian, John, Richard, Simon and myself decided to investigate room 6, where children's voices have been heard on numerous occasions.
Why is that so funny?
What's the matter? What's the matter?
Just thought I heard somebody outside.
I can see like cots and things like that, so I could understand why they hear babies crying.
Colder in here than anywhere.
It's freezing.
Much colder in here than anywhere
If
else.
there's a lot of babies in here, you're bound to feel the cold, aren't you?
Yeah.
Why? What do you mean?
Because I just feel this wall wasn't here, and I just feel like it was just one big room of really young babies in here. Small, like newborn children, very small.
Sounds to me like there's something outside there in the landing.
You're right, Ian.
He's coming.
What?
He's coming.
Stick together, stick together. Did somebody hear that?
Yeah, I heard that.
What was like as well?
It sounded like the microphone or playback on one of these video cameras.
As well.
It sounded to me like a...
Yes. He wants to say out.
Make us go out.
If Derek was in here, he'd swing for you.
No, but you're not going
I'm
to do
telling
that.
you now.
But you're not going to do that, are you?
No. I want to grab you by the throat, throw you out. That's what I want to say to you.
But you're not going to do that, are you?
No. I just feel very emotional.
Just move places. I don't fancy being thrown by the throat.
You just got no right to be in here.
This is
Not
what
at
he's
all.
saying. Yeah.
It's for children. And these children are our property. You're interfering.
My left ear is killing me.
I hate women. They're useless.
This is so small.
Saying what needs to be said. Jokes. I love women.
I presume he has women working with him here. So they have a purpose.
Oh, my head.
To work.
I'm not kidding you, my head. My head is killing me. My left ear is so sore.
It's like 3:30 in the morning. Of course you're going to have a headache. You've been up for hours.
Does
When
he
you're in a
hold
stressful
this place?
situation.
Yeah. Does he hold this place because he feels it's still his property?
Yeah. I'll get the name of Stanley's.
Stanley's.
Yeah. That's only one name.
Stan Lee?
But I felt he travels from London.
My ear and the back of my ear and my head is absolutely excruciating.
I don't know what it is. I'm absolutely free. I was warm. I have gone cold myself. I really have. I've got goosebumps all up and down around my legs, the back of my neck. See, I'm sure there's something over there. Bird. What? That was joking. That wasn't a bird. That came from that corner. From that side. That noise came from over there. It wasn't from outside. I'm telling you now. Well, come on then. If you're
It's
here,
fireworks. No fireworks.
show us you're here. Or don't you exist? Are you just a figment of everybody's
What's that then?
What?
There was a light just at the side of you there, Rick. It was a green light that was there then.
Are you sure it's not a reflection of that?
Trust me, I know what I saw. There was just something there then.
Show yourself. You're too scared to show yourself to 3 men. Only to children. Only to a little boy. Only to throw him across the room. See how much... No, this isn't funny.
No one's going to believe. No
one's going to believe you.
Come on. The TV's gone on. What was that sound? I'm not. No, it's called. It's called.
Who's that?
Hang on.
See how much... See how much...
Control's on the top. The control is on the top, guys. Stu, you alright?
Chill.
You alright, guys?
That guy's absolutely bricking himself.
Our investigation at the Manor House had been truly terrifying. Derek had seemingly been possessed by a violent and cruel spirit. There'd been noises heard, and Richard had witnessed some light anomalies whilst monitoring the rooms. Unfortunately, the child's trigger object in room 8 had not been moved during the night, but there was significant activity when the TV apparently switched itself on during one of the vigils. This experience left Carl, Rick, and especially Stuart really shaken. So much so that the boys chose to sleep in the most haunted van that night rather than take their chances in room 8. We couldn't leave the manor house without trying to help the family, especially the young boy who'd been so terrified by his experience of the paranormal. Ian Lawman had carried out a clearance, and since then there have been no further reports of anything going bump in the night. Until next time, sleep tight.
So that's an interesting point, them saying that there's no further incidences. I'd love to know how it's been, 20 years later, or however long it's been, 15 years later maybe. I'd love to know. I'm very skeptical, as you might have picked up. Like I said, I don't really believe in ghosts, but I am scared of them. I went on a ghost hunt maybe 10 years ago, and I was absolutely terrified. It was a lot of fun. If you've been on any ghost hunts and things like that, do tell me about them in the comments down below. But I guess that's it for today. I hope you've enjoyed this video. It's the first time I've tried something like this. Please do let me know if you would like to see me do it again. I'm sure there's lots of sort of ghost hunting videos and things like that we can watch together and have a chat about. So do tell me about them in the comments below. I'm going to leave some links to my socials where you can follow me and we can have a chat. But until then, I'll see you next time. Bye.
The best bit of that was Mary loves Dick. Fuck me! I could not stop laughing.
I thought
and she
framed her out.
No, and
I tried to keep a straight face.
She protects him. She